Hey guys. All right. So, the moment I've been waiting for. I'm all smiley. Our new series. How do you become fully self sufficient? And is it even possible? Remember, I asked that at the end of the live last night. Or no, during the live. And if you guys haven't watched it, go back and watch it. We covered quite a bit of information. And in the live chat, I put this question out there. And I'd really like you guys to answer it. And I think I'm going to put it in the comments as well. Is it even possible? The answer is a resounding yes. It takes some planning, and it does take some work. It takes quite a bit of work, actually, but it is possible. Even if you don't have a lot of money, it is definitely possible. So, I have another video uploading right now. I'm going to be checking that periodically. So, it's only on 3% right now. So, unfortunately, it's not uploading very quickly. Aaron's probably going to yell at me because, yeah. So, how do you become fully self sufficient? Well, the best option, especially for things we have going on, is to plan off grid. You know, that's unappealing to a lot of people because people are so addicted to electricity, their phones, and their computers, which is a really bad thing to be addicted to. But there will come a time when we won't have access to that stuff anymore. So it's best to know how do you live without that? So here we go. Um, this series is going to cover a lot. I'm not going to. I might actually put the question in every single title, but there's going to be a lot of different videos. There could literally be hundreds of videos, if not thousands of videos to this. Okay, so very beginning, first one, and I'm going to try to make them smaller, so they're easier and a little bit more appealing for people to pull up and watch and that kind of thing. But the first one that I did, the first title that I decided to start this out with is how to plan your off-grid homestead. And it's from my Pinterest, from the homesteading board, from the homestead beginnings section. So here we go. And it covers off-grid living, solar, and water. And it was done in October 25th of 2023. Here we go. How to plan your off-grid homestead. Just start planning. Okay. With all the uncertainty in the world these days, more and more people are looking for a different kind of life, a peaceful life, a life closer to nature and the way we were likely supposed to live. Definitely. More and more families are looking for an opportunity to grow their own food, learn food preservation, utilize natural resources already found back in nature, and pass this knowledge along to their children or people who come after them. My cranberry, I know it's got to be in here somewhere. There it is. I gotta take my stuff today still, too. Even if you're not looking to take the plunge into off-grid living at this moment, making small steps to get you closer to your dream life count in the long run. Each baby step we took, each new skill we learned, none of it was ever wasted when you step back and look at our entire journey. Reading and learning more knowledge about these topics goes a long way to helping you make the right choices for you and your family. And, I can look and be like, okay, well, I don't feel like I've done a whole lot, We don't have a lot to show for, I feel like, much of anything right now as far as our homestead goes. But knowledge I'm gaining along the way. Right, where is my stuff? This is a problem. I think I probably just buried it. I'll have to find it later. I thought it was right there, but knowledge I'm gaining along the way is a real help. So, even though we only have chickens right now, we need more because I need to be able to sell more. We're working towards that goal, even if it doesn't look like much right now. All right. Here is a list of some of the most critical things you need to think about in order to plan your homestead or off-grid homestead. Securing your land. Finding the perfect property. This isn't perfect. There's nothing perfect about anywhere, okay? You can find the right property. But this is where I believe God wants us. So you know what? I'm going to rely on him. He'll help make it work. I gotta check my... excuse me. Sorry, guys. 3%. Where the other video is. Alright. The most important thing to focus on is what is actually important to you or your family and your personal situation. If off-grid living isn't something ideal for you, then finding bare land that is way out in the sticks and far from the electrical grid isn't going to meet your needs. In fact, it's common for people who found out after the fact how expensive it would be to bring the electrical grid to them, and so they have to live off-grid by pure necessity. Okay. At some point in time, we're going to be forced into it anyway. So, learning how to do it is not a bad thing. That's how you have to look at that. Usually that is not an ideal situation. However, it's much better to know what you're getting into before you actually purchase that piece of land off in the woods. It's true. I do wish ours was set back more in the woods. I wish we had more, woods. It would be better for our fuel. I do wish we had more property. So it'd be easier, especially in the woods, so we could take and use that wood to build us a cabin like I wanted to. Can't do that here unless I purchase it, which is going to be really expensive. So, yeah. Hang on, guys. I know. Okay. Don't remember where I left off. Off-grid living is hard work. It is. We're not going to lie. It stretches you and grows you in ways that makes you stronger, and we love it. And we're working towards that goal because I'll admit I've gotten kind of soft and lazy myself. And I'm really working to try to get myself out of that. And I know I need to be because it's not going to be easy, and I know that. But it's definitely not for everyone. So making sure you buy the right piece of land to meet your needs is crucial so you don't end up in a pickle. How many acres do you really need or want? Whether you want 1 to 3 acres or 40 to 60 acres, the amazing thing about homesteading is that you can do so many of the activities and even have animals without a lot of land. And that's a good thing because we only have 5. Do you need land without agricultural restrictions? If so, make sure all of the animals you want are actually allowed. In some counties, pigs aren't allowed and random laws like that. Alright. 3. The best pieces of property have a water source. More on that in water systems. It's not always possible in the location that you need for work, commutes, or otherwise. But if you find a property with a river or underground spring, life will be a little easier. 4. Here's a great list we found of the best states for off-grid living over at www.lawnstarter.com. blog slash studies best dash and worst best dash and dash worst dash states for off-grid living off the grid. Okay, whatever. I'll put that in the description box for this. Actually, write that down. Best and worst states. And I think I'm going to do some research on that and do a video on that anyway. And give the reasons of why, they're good as far as that goes. Boots, leave them alone. That's a weird name for it. LawnStarter.com. And I might actually look this up because I don't even know if this is going to pop up. Boots. Boots! No! Leave them alone. Okay. Water systems. Making sure you have a good water source. Most homesteaders foot the bill for a well to be drilled, and that meets all their watering needs as their main water source, which is wonderful. Many have even turned to drilling their own well and saving a ton of money in the process. In many circumstances, however, wells either aren't practical or out of price range for the new homesteader. Our homestead here falls into that category. We are in a community where most of our neighbors' wells are running dry, and yet the quote for a new well is $65,000. Yes, $65,000 for a well that will most likely run dry in a couple of years. Not a great water source. What we've done instead is to focus our energy and finances on building a rain catchment system, and that's even better, and that's what I want to do out here. Figuring out a myriad of ways to use much less water than your average household. It's amazing how little water you really need when you figure out how much you're actually wasting each month. We've even figured out a way to use our gray water for watering plants and making our land more green, a kind of permaculture system. That's my goal, is a permaculture system. Okay. There are other options though. People have hand drilled next to a natural water source like a stream or a river or even near dried up springs and then pump the water up to their homestead to help supplement their rainwater system. For every property in all its uniqueness, there is usually a unique opportunity. There is an equally unique opportunity. I cannot talk today. To be creative with your water. Breakdown of options for water sources. 1. Well professionally drilled. Figure out if this makes sense for your area and if it's actually cost efficient. Most likely it won't be. 2. Rainwater catchment system. This requires certain types of roofing. Metal is best. Gutters and water storage tanks. The great thing about a rainwater catchment system is you can start out small and with relatively inexpensive equipment and tanks and scale it to whatever size you need eventually. 3. Drill near a stream, river, or spring. Here is a popular video about an off-grid woman drilling their own well in this way. Okay, I don't even... Okay, I guess it does go to it.
Someday to put in a well.
Okay, we'll cover that in a bit. I'm gonna subscribe to her. That's called A Girl in the Woods. That's her channel. We're gonna go back to Pinterest. Hey, fight me. Anyway, it's not always this easy, especially if you have a rocky environment, but you'd be surprised what is possible when you have limited options. Drill your own well, not near a river, stream, or spring, 60 feet down video. The well company couldn't get their rig down into the property, so they had to be creative and do a lot of hard work. It's possible. Excuse me. Really? They are digging through the trash and finding little wrappers of things. All right, building your home. Just like with everything else, when you're creating a homestead from scratch, there are a lot of flexible options when it comes to the house you live in. From a tent to a camper, tiny cabin, or a 2,000 square foot plus house, it really can be anything you put your mind to, and usually is usually based on what you and your family needs in your own situation. For a family of 8, a tent probably isn't what anyone wants, and so on. Your end goal or dream cabin home isn't something you have to have figured out right away for off-grid living. When first starting out, it's common for people to either live in a camper, tiny home, or a tent while slowly building their house or cabin. It's a bonus if you're already mortgage free, selling your house in the city, and these options often provide that chance. When you're mortgage free, you have the ability to move at your own pace and build as you go. Don't be afraid to just get started planning. That's the our problem, and even with an Amish cabin, and I don't know if Amy is going to go for that or what. I haven't talked to her in a minute. I'd really like to get her back out here. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. But, um, is the money to make the payment, to make the down payment and then make that payment every month. We don't make that much money. So I couldn't afford that on my own. I could build it, but I don't have much knowledge about it. I don't know how much it would cost to have logs brought in. I don't know. And pallets aren't really that studious for a house. You know what I mean? Not really. So I don't know. We'll see. They're playing with the silliest things. Boots? No. Hey, no. That's enough. No, get down. Get down. Stinkers. Tent or camper. This is usually temporary. 2, tiny house or small cabin build. Usually families build extensions or more cabins as needed. Buying a shed and converting it into a home. Super popular right now, but can be expensive. Yeah. Amish cabin. Those are expensive. Buying a mobile home and building on extensions as needed. This is best if you can find a good deal and pay in cash. It's not a good idea if you have to buy new, used, and have a loan. Will you get out of the trash? Get down. And have a loan, as they won't always allow you to build onto something you don't own. That was number 4. Number 5, building your cabin as small or big as you want. Will you live at a rental or a home you haven't sold yet? The benefit of this option is that it gives you time as long as you have the finances to pay rent and your mortgage and finance a build. Obviously, this option takes the most money unless your house is already paid off. Hey! Unless your house is already paid off and your off-grid cabin is your retirement plan. No one said anything about retirement. We're talking about literally becoming, self-sufficient and being able to raise and grow all your own food. Getting away from the system and the grocery stores. There's an option for everyone in every circumstance. The only thing holding you back is mindset. And that's true. Solar power or alternative energy sources.
Russian actors, Chinese actors, they are all working overtime to reshape the story. They want you, the people, divided. They want you confused.
Okay, hold on. Solar power or alternative energy sources. When you're doing off-grid living as a family, you absolutely need a good power source. We love our solar package system that we got last year from Signature Solar. I'm going to write that down. You guys are so silly. A company that provides regular, everyday people like us enough solar power to have energy independence with do-it-yourself equipment and package setups. We had a hard time figuring all of it out, like most people who don't have electrical engineering degrees. Figuring out solar energy and how all of it works is a huge learning curve. But it is doable. And so worth it when you don't have the electricity bill coming in anymore and feel so free and independent. We were extremely motivated and that helped. The support at Signature Solar always patiently walked us through every problem and helped us get reliable power for the whole house. Because they sell do-it-yourself products and packages, they are super affordable when comparing prices to the big solar companies out there. The main one closest to us charges around $45,000 for the same amount of energy and power that we got for only 14. I mean, that is just insane. So the first step is figuring out how much power you actually need for your personal situation. If you're a single guy with no wife and kids, you're obviously going to be able to get away with a very affordable setup compared to a family of 6 to 8 people who need a bigger fridge, washer, dryer, etc. Now, if you build the do-it-yourself washer, off-grid washer, in the video that I did a while back, you don't need to buy the washer. And then have clotheslines, you don't need a dryer. And the benefit of most solar package systems is that you can almost always scale up when you do need more power in the future. We will do more posts in the future on the differences between the different choices you make with solar, like lead batteries compared to lithium, monocrystalline panels compared to polycrystalline, etc. It sounds daunting, but once you figure out the basics, it becomes obvious which ones are better for your particular situation. Here's an amazing website devoted to helping you figure out all of your solar needs, from the basic electricity to hot water and cooking, using only the sun's power. Alright. I think it's alternative energy sources. I think. Yeah, I think it's alternative energy sources, so I'm going to write that down. I might go ahead and look it up and actually copy and paste it in the description box so you guys can actually just click on it. Alright, there are options other than just solar power, although the best setup seems to still incorporate solar power in some way or another, along with the alternative energy source. Will you get out of the trash can? What is wrong with you? You are a stinker.
Which one is it?
Char.
Figures.
Because these are all usually weather dependent or natural resource dependent, it's good to spread out your energy and power capacity, not putting all your eggs in one basket, so as to speak. Many people manage to do this with harnessing wind power. If the sun isn't shining as bright in the winter, you may be in a climate with a powerful wind source to help supplement. And that really wouldn't help us too much out here. As the world gets more and more unstable, it seems energy systems keep getting more creative. You can find wind turbine systems packaged together with solar power systems, or even create your own through do-it-yourself projects. If I was going to do that, I would create my own. Small personal wind turbines are one of the most cost-effective alternative energy sources on the market now, and they can be used for other applications such as pumping water for irrigations for farms or ranches. Honestly, if we end up building out there for us, which I don't see because I really don't want to leave Aaron alone here, because I don't think he can handle this house alone. I just don't think he can. But if we end up building out there for us, it's going to be totally off grid. I'm going to go Doug and Stacy because I don't care. Like, I have had to go 2 weeks without power. Did it suck? Absolutely. In this house, the way it is now, or the way it was then, with our dependency on it, it absolutely sucked. Can we be creative to where we can cook, to where we can still bathe, to where we can still have water, to where we can still do laundry, wash our hands, keep clean, etc., etc., etc.? Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's me. But, like, I don't know if I'm going to build out there. I just don't know. I don't want to leave Aaron alone in this house. Like I said, I don't think he can handle it. It's too much for him. It's just him. It would be just him. So, I mean, we're having a hard enough time handling it with just us as it is. So, but I'm not selling it. It's my mom and dad's house. So, all right. Another way to source your power is hydroelectricity, which is a form of energy that harnesses the power of water in motion. This again does best when paired with other forms of alternative energy like solar power and is very technical. Not for the beginner, probably, but good to look into if you already have a water source and don't mind doing a lot of hard work getting your hydroelectric power up and running. I wish our brains were wired this way, but maybe in the future we'll look into hydroelectric power. Boots, no. Be good. You can eat, but you leave them kittens alone. Heating your home for the winter. For us, it's a no-brainer. It's a wood stove. Wood cook stove, best yet. Because you have your cooking source without electricity. The best case scenario when you're living on an off-grid homestead is to live in an area with mild winters. But of course, that's not always possible or desirable. The most popular state people dream about moving to statistically is usually Alaska. No, not me. So figuring out how to heat your home, even for a mild winter state that gets some random and sporadic hard freezes, is crucial. There are a few options: propane fuel, wood burning stove, or solar heating, and each option comes with pros and cons. The wood stove is the best option. You want to go with something you don't need electricity for, and you don't need to have to worry about going and buying more of something for. For using solar heat, one of the best daytime heaters in the winter is a 100% solar powered off grid mini split like this one by Pioneer. Okay. Hey! I'm going to write this down too. And I'll link this one in the description. Powdered? Powered, not powdered.
Powdered, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Used. They want you to doubt America's purpose. And they want that because a fractured America is a weak A country. And that's why it's explicitly critical that we understand this Venezuelan takeover for what it truly was. Not a stunt or a distraction, a major military strategic blow.
Sorry, guys. First of all, trying to make sure it doesn't, like, go off from there. And secondly, I'm gonna be playing it like in between the videos, not during them. Even though I just had that on. Okay, the brand Pioneer has a range. The brand's Pioneer has a range of 9,000 to 36,000 BTU capacity and can run the heat pump in 13-degree Fahrenheit. The downside is that these aren't great for nighttime heating because of limited sun in winter and the daytime to fill your battery bank plus no sun at night. All right. Here's a video for an off-grid family that uses a similar mini split setup, but also alternates to propane heat at night, so they save their battery system from running it all night long. The bonus of using a mini split system, see, that's freaking awesome. Look at those wood cook stoves. Love one of them. Is that it can be year round to help cool and heat our 1,000 square foot cabin. Really, you guys? Get out of the trash. Get down. They're pulling trash out all over the place. Our favorite heat system for off-grid homesteaders is your basic wood-burning stove and oven to cook on. Although it may be a big investment up front, it's definitely the heart of the homestead in the winter. Plus, having that heat source to heat the whole house and to cook anything on, while also being able to have a constant hot water, as they usually have a water reservoir on the side, is just amazing. And that's what I'm aiming for. See if there's something that I can link in the description for that as well. Old-fashioned, but sometimes the old-fashioned knew what they were doing. They absolutely did. All right, waste management. Speaking of old-fashioned, sometimes we've wondered how on earth human beings survived on this earth so long with ancient septic waste systems that seem so primitive to our modern minds. Hey! No. And yet worked much more efficiently than some of the newer alternatives we have today. Absolutely. Boots, no. Boots. Jeez. From regular underground anaerobic systems to aerobic and above ground systems and sand based systems for environmentally sensitive areas near water sources, this website hands down is some of the best advice. Okay, waste management system. I'm going to make sure I link this in the description as well. Some municipalities allow for special permissions or zone variances in situations where an aerobic leach field would be suboptimal for your land or animals. You just have to schedule it in person and check what kind of alternative options are possible for your own situations. Our neighborhood's favorite vacation rental, Bella Green, uses simple composting toilets. Composting is allowed in some areas, as well as treating with chemicals you can buy online in your approved alternative system. As per Texas Commission on Environmental Quality website, they recommend using a chlorine tablet made from calcium hypochlorite. That is certified for wastewater disinfection by EPA. The tablets are very reactive and will kill 99% of the bacteria present in the effluent within 10 minutes. Follow all warning and precaution statements of the chlorine tablet manufacturer to protect yourself and the system equipment. Do not use tablets designed for swimming pools, as they may release an explosive gas called nitrogen chloride. You don't want that. Overall, as overwhelming as it all sounds, to get everything up and started, it really isn't as hard or impossible as it seems, and it really is not. We're just having problems because we lack certain pieces of equipment that we need, and it's just taking a lot longer for us because of that, and also because of the money. All it takes is a well-designed plan and the motivation to stick to the goals you make for the future. And remember, homesteading, whether on or off grid, is like an adventure. It's the amazing experiences you and your family have along the journey that make it all worthwhile and so wonderful. And I would highly recommend that if you're looking into homesteading and you have kids or you're going to have kids, do it now. Raise those kids on the farm, raise those kids on the homesteading. Get them involved. It is the absolute best thing you can do for your kids. I wish I could go back and do that for mine. But that's it for that one, and I am going to get off from here. I can't upload this one right now. I absolutely will. Let me make sure I write the title of this one down. Because I'm going to be just doing more videos and uploading them as I can. Kind of pulling a crazy farm life thing here. But I'm going to get off from here and get ready to move on to the next one. And I will see you guys in the next video. Keep your eye on the subscriptions. YouTube is funny about that. And just make sure you're still subscribed. Click on that notification bell. Click on all to make sure you get all the notifications. Do your preps, do your chores, do your research. Research, research, research. Get those homesteading books. Have some fun with your family. And then do more research. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.